With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to Chandala Dharma for all bewildered miseries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to Chandala Dharma for all bewildered miseries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to Chandala Dharma for all bewildered miseries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to Chandala Dharma for all bewildered miseries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom.
With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of
all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas
of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in miseries gloom.
Please stay, no problem.
I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in miseries gloom.
With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands,
I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to
shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered mysteries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered mysteries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered mysteries gloom. Okay, thank you. Please take seats. Okay, for the remaining days, I'd like to request Venerable to take over to do the morning prayers, and at the generating the consummate yoga, generating the mind of consummate yoga, that part I will do, and the rest.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so let's just take a few minutes to settle into our seats, and please make sure your posture is straight, your back is straight, and yet you are relaxed. So you know the 7 points. You can go over the 7-point Vairocana posture. And then just bring your attention to the in and out of your breath. And with each breath, just relax and completely let go. And then from this quiet space, we visualize in front of us, sitting on a beautiful lotus and moon cushion, Shakyamuni Buddha, one face, two hands, looking at each one of us with great love and compassion. So just take a few minutes to feel his loving, compassionate presence. And then surrounding you on either side are all sentient beings. On your left-hand side is your mother and all female sentient beings, the Bodhisattva field. And on the right-hand side is your father and all male sentient beings. So we include every sentient beings without leaving a single one. And if there are any difficult people in your life, please place them before you. And you can visualize that Shakyamuni Buddha is surrounded by all the teachers in all the 10 directions, all the Buddhas, including all the Nalanda masters, and your own teachers. And the purpose of the practice is to manifest this Buddha nature within us by removing the dirt, which is the 2 mental obscurations, the afflictive obscurations, and the cognitive obscurations. So let's recite these verses while mentally invoking their profound meanings and associated experience. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Page 4, taking refuge and generating bodhicitta. I go for refuge until I am enlightened. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, by my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Now in Tibetan. Sangye chodan soge chognam la jangju bardyu dani kyapsu chi dagi jinso gipe sognam ki drola pencher sangye drupar shug Sangye chodan soge chognam la jangju bardyu dani kyapsu chi dagi jinso gipe sognam ki drola pencher sangye drupar shug Sangye chodan soge chognam la jangju bardyu dani kyapsu chi dagi jinso gipe sognam ki drola pencher sangye drupar shug. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is freed of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all lead hearers seeking pacification to complete peace, which through the knowledge of paths causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which helps subduers expound a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, the Sugata and protector, to you I make prostrations. The one who has illuminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. And then we recite the essence of the dependent origination mantra. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagato hevadat Teshan chayo niroda evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagato hevadat Teshan chayo niroda evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagato hevadat Teshan chayo niroda evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha. Meaning of the 10 Rinpoche Ningpo mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite, such is the nectar-like dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I will retire into the woods. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times, I pay obeisance. The 4 seals of Buddha's teachings. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are of the nature of suffering. All phenomena are of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma. Likewise, the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings. until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. The Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. Instructions on parting from the 4 attachments. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Page 1414. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, forms supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust-free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the Tathagata, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the Sangha, I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion or drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of false, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 2929, the Heart Sutra. The Heart Sutra, the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya triple gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Buddha was dwelling on massive Vulture's mountain in Rajagriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, Arya Avalokiteshvara, looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, Arya Avalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, Arya Avalokiteshvara, said this to the Venerable Sharadvati Putra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty. Emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomena. There is no I element, and so on, up to and including no mind element, and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared, Tayata Om Gate Gate Para Gate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha, having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharadvati Putra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding in their entirety along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Buddha. This completes the Arya Bhagavati Prajnaparamita Hridaya Sutra. We recite the mantra 7 times. Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha. By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed. May they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified. May all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified. May the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified. May we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma. May all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma. May auspiciousness and perfect happiness pervade this place now. And then we go to page 35. 35. Eight verses for training the mind by Geshe Langre Thangpa. With a determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard her still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all this remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. Lama Tsongkhapa's Lamrim Dedication Prayer, verse 1. From my 2 collections, vast a space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. And then the 7-limb practice, excerpt from the King of Prayers, the extraordinary aspiration of the practice of Samantabhadra. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri, you the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions, to all of you, with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particle are Buddhas numberless as particles, each amidst a host of Bodhisattvas. And I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you, and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugatas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense, I offer to you victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array, I offer to you, victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, I offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I have done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, all these I openly lay bare before you. I lift up my heart and rejoice in all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers, hearers still training, and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for eons, numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddhas stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. The short mandala offering. We'll do it in Tibetan first. You know the tune. Sashipu ki ju shing me tu tram ri ra bling zi ni de gen po di sangye jing du mik te u wai drokun namadang jing la chopar sho. In English, this ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. The four dharmas of Venerable Gampopa. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the dharma. May I be blessed that my dharma practice is on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is freed of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The four dharmas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva, becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps at true existence, please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality, on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind stream overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. Next page. The Foundation of All Good Qualities by Lama Tsongkhapa. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to the Guru is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon the Guru with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly, day and night, takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karmas follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother migratory beings. Please bless me to see this trained in supreme bodhicitta and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I have pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the 2 attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I have become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the 2 stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. So we'll recite the meaning of the verse, followed by chanting the Miksema verse. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hordes of demons without exception, Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Losangdrapa, at your feet I make prostrations. Mig me zeveter chen chen rezig drime kenpe wampo jampelyong ganchen ke pezo gen song kapa lozang drape zabla zolwade mig me zewe ter chen chen rezig drime kenpe wampo jampelyong ganchen kepe zugen song kapa lozang drape zabla zowadeb mig me zewe ter chen chen rezig drime kenpe wampo jampelyong ganchen kepe zugen song kapa lozang drape zabla zowa de.
Okay, thank you, Venerable Bajala. Thank you. Okay, we will do. So the main practice, generating the mind of consummate yoga, which consists of 4 parts. So what we're doing here is that if you, me, all, if you want to really strive to get away from the miseries of samsara, or in other words, to stop all the mental agitation, stress, sadness, and the tears of samsara, we have to do something. And then if you want to expand your the joy and happiness, the ease, just infinitely, we have the potential. Why don't we try? Why don't we stop the tears? We have the potential to stop the tears of samsara. Don't expect that the world will change and the world will come to embrace you and then your tears stop. It'll never happen. You have to change. You have to change. It doesn't mean that you become submissive. You say yes, become a yes minister to everybody. This is not the meaning. Just unravel your hidden treasure inside. You have a treasure. Each one of us, we have this treasure. Why don't we put effort to awaken this treasure? Let this treasure come out and you become so confident, fearless, and your ease simply, no matter what situation, your ease simply expands to the infinity. So, look at His Holiness. Wherever he is, there's such a joy there, there's such ease there. We all have this potential, we all have this capacity. So what to do now? So the last 3 days, what we said is that our job is to cleanse our mind of the mental defilements. The treasure is there. We don't have to look for the treasure outside. It is there. Every day we have to surrender. That's a different story. No, we don't have to surrender. Just awaken this treasure. Be powerful. Be expansive. Be at ease. So how to do that is cleanse the mental defilements. If you are very serious with this, that your treasure is inside. And if you want to unfold or want to see what this treasure is like, we must get conviction. It is not just believing in somebody. The conviction must come to us. Rationally, we have to explore how each one of us, we have the treasure. Even the tiny dog, tiny insects. Look at this insect. Just touch it, and it pretends as though like it's dead. It doesn't want to suffer. Every being is like this. Look at the creatures in the ocean. The moment the bigger animal comes, instantly the tiny ones will pretend, camouflage, whatever. They do that to protect themselves. There's the desire not to suffer, the desire to have the ease. So everyone has the potential. So why not we unfold this? So how to unfold this is that if we're very serious with this, then we have to think long term. The wise people, wise and unwise, how do we distinguish? Unwise people see only the immediate. Wise people see far away and plan accordingly. So wise people, no matter how many years it takes, they are determined to, seeing the goal, they will determine to go in that direction. Unwise people will go to dig too many wells, and then will end up with no water. So unwise people only see immediate things, and when you don't see the immediate goal, when you don't get the goal immediately, then you go to another. So you don't go anywhere. Unravel your treasure inside. How to unravel this treasure? 4 points. One, the root which really cleanses the mind is the wisdom of emptiness. Study this. Reflect on this. It'll take time. Don't expect the results. This will take time, the wisdom of emptiness. The Buddha identified ignorance as the root of the problems. And you don't even believe in Buddha. Don't just believe in Buddha. What the Buddha taught, all of us, what the Buddha taught, see if your mind grows in the intelligence to understand what the Buddha taught. And even if our intelligence is not as much at the moment, and what the Buddha taught, don't reject it, don't accept it. Learn and keep them for your further analysis, investigation. As your intelligence grows, you will see the effects of it. Then you will see that this is the treasure, in ways that our anger, our attachment, and the mental disturbance, we'll see that all quell. And then you will see that this is what I'm seeking. So wisdom of emptiness is one which eradicates the iceberg of the ignorance, the foundation of all the ignorant foundation of all the miseries. Eradicate this by the wisdom of emptiness. And then all the agitation, tears will automatically stop. So for this wisdom to be activated, and say the X, which is extremely sharp X, powerful X, but to what extent it will cut the poisonous tree. Poisonous tree is the mental defilements. To what extent it will cut is determined by the woodcutter, the motivation of the woodcutter, enthusiasm of the woodcutter. Even if the axe is so sharp, but if the woodcutter doesn't have the enthusiasm, it will take a long time, I'll do it tomorrow, the enthusiasm is missing. So the greatest of the enthusiasm required to eradicate the subtlest of the mental defilements, and the greatest of the motivation or the enthusiasm is the bodhicitta. Number 2, bodhicitta. So this bodhicitta is the desire to really expand your heart infinitely for the benefit of all demon sentient beings. So that is determined by how much compassion you feel towards the beings, the universal compassion. And that compassion rests on the understanding of the renunciation. To what extent you realize that the tears, the pains of the tears, the more you realize this, the more compassion you feel towards other beings. Other beings also running into tears. I remember a father, a very respected person, the father, and the mother, also a teacher, and the daughter and the son, 4 of them came to my place. And the daughter had a lot of complaints. So the daughter is so aggressive. Young, very young daughter, age like 16, 17, so young. Very aggressive, fighting with the father, fighting with the mother. Mother says something, the daughter shouts back. The father says something, the daughter shouts back. And the daughter is suffering, and the father, mother could not bear the pain the daughter is going through. At the same time, the daughter is not allowing the father, mother to speak. What to do? Totally helpless, and father's crying. Such a respected person's crying. A mother's crying. And the son, who is very mature, younger one, and son felt so helpless. What do you do? Speak, not speak. Not speak. The sister's in pain. Speak. The sister doesn't allow the son to speak. The brother to speak. Seeing this drama, the drama of samsara, the tears, this is what everybody's going through. So painful. This can be stopped. This can be stopped. For you, you can stop it in others also. So for that matter, renunciation. What is the pain of the samsara like? I want to renounce this. The renunciation. So, wisdom of emptiness, bodhicitta, renunciation. And all these we don't have yet. We don't have yet. So we have to build them. It is like building a new house. Building a new house, say you stack 10 bricks. No, it'll collapse. Stack 3, 4, 5 bricks. Let it set. The stability is required. For that purpose, to stabilize these 3 experiences, we need this shamatha meditation. And these 3 things are not related to external objects. It's internal development. And these 3 internal developments must be supported by the stability practice to make them stable and firm. And then keep stacking more. Again stability. Again keep stacking more. Keep stability. These 4 things are required. And later, only when you have these 4, then to expedite this path, to expedite what you're doing, to become Buddha as soon as possible for the benefit of sentient beings, then Tantra is added, Vajrayana is added. In the absence of these 4, Vajrayana will make no sense. unfortunately, even nowadays, even in the past, people too naive to think that Vajrayana is everything. And if you have it, all others are inferior. Bodhisattva, renunciation, wisdom, they are just the inferior. So Bodhi, Tantra, this ultimate, you have the ultimate, you are so meritorious. First, such a false propaganda is being spread, because of which many people led into wrong path. So therefore, once you have these four, you can go anywhere. You can go to Burma, Thailand, just be in the Theravada monastery, in the Chinese monastery, in the Zen monastery, in the Vipassana monastery. You can go anywhere with these four intact. If any of these four is missing, something is missing. For your well-being, it's not about a tradition. It's about your well-being. For example, the Buddha transcends tradition. Buddha did not say that my two teachers, they are following the single-pointed meditation practice, so I have to, this is my tradition. No. Buddha did not get the answer. Solution to the problems of all sentient beings by following the two teachers. So he left he left to seek the complete path. So finally he found the wisdom of emptiness. So we read, the one who is transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, protector to your manifestations. These two lines, this is a biography of the Buddha. So from there we see that we should not be as the sectarian to say that I belong to this tradition, I belong to, it's about your well-being. It's about the well-being of your parents, children, family members, all the sentient beings. So with this mind, four things are extremely important. If we have these four things, you can go anywhere. You can be by yourself. You don't need any other people around you. If you have good people, well and good. Sometimes, say, being with other people and other people can be like a hindrance for you, where you are not too matured, be in the fence surrounded by other people. Where you're very matured with these four things, you go anywhere. You have the tool in your hands to become enlightened. So with this mind, the first thing, what we do is that the stability practice is what we do here, 5 minutes breathing meditation, then followed by renunciation, followed by bodhicitta, followed by wisdom emptiness, and then we conclude by taking the aspiration bodhisattva vow. Ready? 5 minutes. And as I said earlier, no instructions, no further instructions for single point meditation. And if somebody feels a need of the single point meditation instructions, you contact the IT staff, Mr. Dhamramkot, and he'll get you the recordings of the earlier. This time the recording is available, and also the recordings of the earlier the teachings. You will get them and listen to them. Okay, so ready? 5 minutes. Okay. For the single point meditation or the shamatha meditation, I did mention about the need for the eyes to be open, not closed, particularly as beginner meditators, number one. Number two, that the cushion on which they sit, it should not be too hard, it shouldn't be too soft. Too hard, it'll give pains to your legs very quickly. And then too soft, it'll make you lethargic very quickly. And also the intermittent sounds like the clock, tick, 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 tick. These are very disturbing, and it will really hamper your flow of the meditation. This is something, again, we should be careful. For example, like the clocks, the wall clocks. If possible, nowadays there are the silent wall clocks, silent table clocks, silent wall clocks without this ticking sound. Okay, how many don't know that? Raise hands. Clock means it should have tick, tick, tick. Wall clocks, table clocks, raise hands. Okay, so they are silent, the wall clocks. This is one thing. Then the next one is that because the eyes are open, for example, for many people, say the cloth or tape, the things around you should not be too striking, like colorful things, like different colors, different shapes, and so forth. This will again hamper your meditation. And at the same time, don't expect that everything which is the non-conducive for meditation can be stopped. You cannot stop everything. So gradually, it is like a small child being put in the fence, cradle. And from there, don't remain a small child all the time. Keep growing in meditation. So gradually, then at a certain point, that these things should not be the disturbing factor for you. For example, even the intermittent sounds should not be disturbing. You should be able to transcend all these. Some people, they're extremely particular. And I still remember one man who must be in his 21, 22, a Westerner, and he was a beginner. I was also like, I think 22, 21, 22, same age. And I just bumped in his room, and then he opened the door and he said that, "Don't you know that I'm meditating too much?" This is not meditation. This is not meditation. Meditation means you have to learn. At least these are the manifest things, obvious things. Okay, somebody bumps in. Okay. For example, like my own teacher, I shared with you, who is an accomplished master, and he meditates. Somebody comes in. He pretends as though like he's not meditating. Forget about him telling that, "Don't you see that I'm meditating?" Forget about this. It's far, so remote. He just pretends as though like he's not meditating, keeping so low profile. You're getting it? So, don't be too fussy. Don't be too finicky about, right, all these details. All sound should be stopped, right? All sound should be stopped. So the bird is chirping. Oh, how bad this bird is! It's chirping. The cockroach, what is it? Cricket. Cricket. What is this? What are you doing? You know, you feel so disturbed. So now meditation is making you more disturbed. You better not do meditation. So what I'm saying is that those things which you can stop. Those things which you cannot stop, don't be too fussy about these things. It's fine, let it be. And finally, try to train yourself. In a way, take them as a conducive factors which you cannot stop. Okay, these are the tests for me to see how I'm growing. It is telling me that I'm a beginner. I'm like a baby. I'm like a beginner. Look, I'm so affected by these. Okay. Yeah. So this is a little bit about the meditations, because in the text it's very clearly indicated that you should not be, beginner meditators should not be with for example, like the sounds. They are the major disturbing factors. For example, like you are close by rivers, a river, and the river is extremely forceful, but the sound is very strong and very aggressive sounds, like this. So these are very disturbing. So this is mentioned in the text. So therefore, try to stay away from the noises, loud sounds, aggressive sounds. These can be very disturbing. Okay, good. Next is renunciation. So renunciation. So basically, what we're doing is what in many of the Tibetan traditions is known as the practice of the Lamrim, and the Lamrim teachings, the practices, they come in the different forms. Initially, they put in this particular format by Lama Atisha Dipankarishri Jnana. Lama Atisha, he put in this format and then taught it in the form of the lamp of the path of enlightenment, and which further explained by the many great teachers, one of which was Lama Tsongkhapa. He then explained it in more detail, and the great treatise on the stage of the path of enlightenment is there. And then what we read just before the meditation, the foundation of all good qualities, just 14 verses, and it's a complete Lamrim. Okay, so usually what we do is that people they sit for Lamrim retreats. That's just perfect, so good. And then at times we can Lamrim, this is Gelug tradition. This is where we are going wrong. And some, yes, this is Gelug tradition. Some people, they're so possessive that we are Gelug, Hey, you are from the Gelug tradition, our tradition. This is poison. Sectarianism, this is poison. It doesn't matter. As long as somebody is becoming happier and happier, you rejoice. You rejoice. This should be the spirit that we need to develop. So what I do is that, because all these Lamrim teachings, they should all come from the Buddha. And the Buddha taught the 4 seals. These 4 seals is just perfect. Add to it the Bodhisattva. Add to that the wisdom of emptiness. It becomes the complete, very succinct Lamrim practice, and very handy and extremely something grabbable. We can grab at it within a short span of time. We can do everything complete. Okay, so with this mind, we do that. For the renunciation, I use the 4 seals which the Buddha himself taught, and yet it incorporates all the Lamrim teachings that you find in the different Tibetan traditions. Okay, ready? So this is going to be guided meditation, and we may do as guided for the next 2 days, today, tomorrow, and then after tomorrow. Let's see, without being guided, if you can do it. Finally, you should be able to do it on your own without being guided. Okay, ready? Good. Okay, this is going to be guided, meaning that you let your mind flow in the reflections of the meanings as the instructions are given. Follow instructions. Don't try to compare, contrast with what you've learned before, what you've read before, what you have heard before. No compare, contrast. If at all you want to compare, contrast, you can. Not now. Afterwards. Okay. This should be the short time that we take advantage of to make sure that experiences are born. Finally, study reflection must be translated into experience through meditation. Okay. Renunciation. Renunciation is to renounce our miseries. Not to renounce the happiness, to renounce the miseries. To renounce the miseries, we need to know how to renounce the causes of the miseries. And the causes of the miseries, Buddha identified ignorance as the root of all the miseries. And the ignorance, of course, the Buddha again identified many layers of ignorance, primarily 4 of them. Ignorance which misperceives impermanent phenomena as permanent. ignorance which misperceives impure things as pure, ignorance which misperceives miseries as happiness, and finally ignorance which misperceives what is selfless nature as of selfhood. So to combat these four kinds of ignorance, the Buddha taught the four seals. The first three seals to overcome the kinds of ignorance, and the fourth one as the resultant state of overcoming the four kinds of ignorance. First, the Buddha taught all composite things are impermanent. And composite things which are composed of material parts or temporal parts. Keep in mind that be it composite, non-composite, any object, anything should necessarily have parts. But the parts here is very different. Not simply a part, but the parts in the form of material parts or temporal parts. And non-composite phenomena, they are not made of these two parts, they are made of something else. Okay. Those which are made of these two parts they are referred to as composite phenomena. And what is a composite phenomena? For example, like your body made of the material parts, your mind made of temporal parts, and what is made of, in other words, all composite phenomena should necessarily be made of temporal parts. But for the body and physical body, there is something extra parts known as the material parts or the particles. So what is composed of these parts, referred to as composite phenomena, they should necessarily undergo impermanence. They have the nature of impermanence. And impermanence is of two kinds, gross impermanence and subtle impermanence. It's so important that we need to reflect on both. Beginning with the gross impermanence. Gross impermanence, impermanent phenomena whose continuum terminates, whose continuum stops. For example, 2023 is stopped. The whole continuum within the span of one year stopped. The moment the 1st of the January of 2024, the arose. 2023 stopped. Likewise, our youth stopped. Likewise, many of your friends, your great-grandparents, your grandparents, your parents, many of them already, their continuum terminated already. And believe it or not, today, just we see that today, the parents, even the people, the young people, they have so much of things in their mind, aspirations. I should do this, I should do that, I should be established there, I should get this job, that job, and so forth. And the parents also have so much expectation from the children. And it's not just today. 200 years ago, of course the population of human beings was much less. Perhaps like 2,000 years ago, the whole population of the world seemed to be like few millions, not billions, few millions. At the time of the Buddha, just few millions. But there were young people who had so much, who had all these aspirations. And their parents with so much expectation from their children and so forth. Where are they now? They're all gone. They're all gone. This is a proof of the impermanence, gross impermanence. And it's not that we are lucky ones. 200 years down the line in the future, not even a single person out of 8 billion human beings will survive then. Will all be gone by that time. And out of the 8 billion human beings today, how many will be remembered? Who is your great grandparents? We have no clue, except for, say, perhaps like 100 out of 8 billion human beings. They have the family tree record, and in fact, I personally have no clue of even the grandparents. Forget about my great grandparents and the great great grandparents. So they're all gone, disappeared, even disappeared from the memories. This will happen down the line, 100 years, 200 years in the future. Yes, this is a reality. Whether you accomplish your goals or not, we all leave. And where there is a gross impermanence, which the Buddha taught, whatever gathers will disperse. Whatever is accumulated gets exhausted. Whatever stands will fall. And whatever is born dies. This is a reality. Then the Buddha was asked, what if it dies? Will they be born? Those born in samsara, born with tears once more, the Buddha replied. Those with attachment will again have to take birth, the miserable birth. Those freed of attachment will be freed from having to take birth in this miserable state. But those who are born, invariably will have to die. But those who die may not take birth in a miserable life. Okay, keeping this in mind, there's a hope that we can stop the tears of samsara. So given that all these gross impermanence, where the beautiful days, beautiful celebrations, they all come to an end. Your youth comes to an end. Your life comes to an end. Your joys come to an end. All these, the manifest impermanence, underscoring all these is a subtle impermanence. Subtle impermanence, which is momentariness. A tree that you've seen grown 10 feet tall within a span of 10 years. Although you look at it, you see them so stable and steady and static and no movement there. That's not true. This is just the illusion created by our own mind, the limitation of our eye consciousness, limitation of our mind to see the subtle changes within. The change that you see within the 10 years, span of 10 years, to see a tree have grown, the tree has grown 10 feet tall. It's not that for the last 9 years, 11 months, it was sleeping and suddenly, tomorrow completes 10 years, so I have to shoot up 10 years. No, every year it was changing. Every year there's growth of one foot in height. And every month is growing 1 inch, which means it's changing. And every day is changing. And a change that you see in the day's time, if you just keep looking at it, staring at it, you don't see the change going there. But the change is there. Only visible after a few days. And the change that you see in 1 day is possible if there's a change happen on the monthly basis, weekly basis, daily basis, hour by hour, 24 hours. A day consists 24 hours. The first hour changed to the second, to the third, fourth. And the change in the hour on hourly basis is possible with change minute by minute. Minute by minute, you can imagine, but if you look at your clock, you don't see the minute hand moving. Your eyes are so gross, you can't see even the minute hand moving. Now the change happening on the second level. Yes, now we can see yes, this is without a change happening on the second level, change on the minute level is impossible. So which means that even this tree otherwise seems to be so static, not moving, it's actually moving second by second. Tuck, 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 tuck. Yes, it's visible. Now the change that you see in 1 second is possible only if there's a change happening on the millisecond. Millisecond means 1 second split into 1,000 divisions, which is so fast. And forget about 1 second split into 1,000. 1 second split into 100. Even leave this aside. 1 second split into 10 divisions. Even that is so fast. You just press your timer on a mobile and see how the digits move so fast. fast. We have to do it. We have to do it. You must do this when you get a mobile. You have to do it. Press it and see how to do it. This is how your body is changing. This is how the trees are changing. This is how your parents are moving. This is how your friends are changing so fast. We get the illusion that, okay, my friend, my parents, my children, and so forth, they're so stable, permanent. No, that changes so fast. It's very scary to see. It's very scary to feel this, that all composite phenomena, they're moving so fast. That fast, like these digits moving, 1 second split into 10 the divisions, how it moves. This is how all composite phenomena are moving. It's a reality. And we see them as so static, stable. This is just the limitation of our consciousness, of our mind. It fails to see the reality. Think of that. It's very scary. Just imagine that you're thrown into a very fast moving train. What is that like? Very scary. And faster the train moves, more the fear. Why? We don't know where this train is taking us. Likewise, when we realize that our bodies move so fast, and my mind is moving so fast, and your friends, your husband, wife, children, parents, and people around you, the car that you have, your house, your food, everything moves so fast. It's very scary. Where are they moving towards? So who decides? The driver decides. The train driver decides. If the train driver is your mother, no doubt it'll take you to a picnic spot. But if the train driver is a terrorist, or if the train driver is under the dictate of the terrorists, it'll only take you to the slaughterhouse. Faster the train moves, more the fear. This is exactly what happened at the time of the Nazi, where the Jews were put into trains and then they just take them to the slaughterhouse. This exactly is not just the Nazi, it's ourselves. We are in the train, very fast, fast moving express trains. We're moving somewhere. Who decides? That train driver, like our mind, decides. Unfortunately, this mind, which is like the driver, is under the dictate of the worst of the demons, worst of the terrorists, which is the contamination, and worst of which is self-grasping ignorance. As long as our mind is under the dictate of the self-grasping ignorance, self-centered attitude, self-grasping ignorance, worst of contamination, complemented by self-centered attitude, it will only take us to the miseries, tears, anxiety, fear, depression, after depression, tears after tears. Okay, this is what the Buddha indicated as all contaminated things are suffering nature. Where there's a contamination, where the contamination contaminates your mind, it'll only take you to the miseries. What kind of miseries? 3 kinds of miseries. Suffering, the manifest suffering, which is extremely acutely painful, which is a result of the non-virtuous karmas, non-virtuous thoughts. So painful. These pains, we have no idea. When they take the peak, you cannot really tolerate it. It's so unbearable. Even a nice, gentle person can become so aggressive, unable to contain the pain. This is what the pain is like. So much of fear, so much of pain, suffering of change. What deceives us? The bait, like what deceives us and continuously kept us, which keeps us in samsara, and make us go through this acute manifest pains, being held in this manifest pain by the deception, by the bait of this suffering change, the mundane happiness. And who masterminds these two, the pains? Pervasive conditioned suffering, self-grasping ignorance, contaminating karmas, afflictions, all driven by self-grasping ignorance. When we are under swift self-grasping ignorance, this is the worst of the pain, worse. There's no escape as long as we are under the sway of the self-grasping ignorance. As long as we are in the dream, believing the dream is real, there's no escape from the loss of the freedom. Loss of the freedom is the ultimate meaning of miseries and suffering. That's true. And they say these three things, and particularly for us, the first suffering. And then for the more, as you become more realized, then you see where your focus will move to the suffering will change as the real demon. And then you still mature, become more matured, more maturely evolve. Then you see that the mastermind is the one. I'm not really too scared of the first two. The mastermind is the one. Then at that point you really become very mature to identify the suffering, which the Buddha expects us to do so. So, for us, suffering like what? The pain of losing near and dear ones, which is so acute. And we have to shed tears. We see all what we went through in our life as celebrations, ceremonies, festivities, merriments, the joys of the marriage, coming together, and the relationships, all these things, they are everything so shallow, hollow, meaningless in the face of one moment of such a pain of losing near and dear ones. Everything was totally grim, totally the painful, and so shallow, hollow, meaningless. This is what we feel, this pain. Yes, I understand it. And when will this stop? They will never stop on their own. This will perpetuate endlessly until we put a correct, concerted, and consistent effort. What kind of effort is required? Buddha taught, Ye dharma hetu prabhava, hetum tesham tathagato hyavat. The effort is, we should put the correct effort, concerted and consistent. And the effort should be on the basis of what the Buddha discovered. Self-grasping ignorance, all these miseries arising from contaminant karmas, which in turn arise from the afflictions, gross afflictions, which in turn arise from the inappropriate tension, and finally the ultimate mastermind, self-grasping ignorance. The moment you get rid of this, everything will fall apart and your misery stops, your tears stop. Okay, how to stop that? For this, self-grasping ignorance is like darkness. Just as the light, just as it is only through introducing the light that the darkness can be eradicated, likewise it is only through introducing the light of the wisdom that the darkness of ignorance can be eradicated. What is that wisdom? Wisdom is a discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. What is reality? Reality is but what the Buddha indicated as the third seal. Everything is the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Everything is purely like the emptiness, meaning empty of objective reality, like the dream being empty of the real entities. Everything is like a dream. Everything is subjective. Everything is empty of objective reality. The moment we believe things as objective real, it is like believing the dream is real. Then you are sucked up and you have lost the freedom to the dream. Likewise, we lose freedom believing that things are all object real. On the contrary, Buddha discovered and so kind of compassionately taught us, helped us to understand that things, the mode of existence of things is very different, is very different from how they appear to you and how you believe them to be like. They are all empty of object reality. So what's the benefit of this? If you discover that seeing the dream is real happens only in the dream, and seeing the dream is real is ignorance, and outcome is the fear, loss of freedom. Seeing the dream as dream, seeing the dream as being empty of real, happens only when you wake up, and there's a wisdom, and the outcome is the freedom from the fears of dream. Wow, that's amazing. So if everything is subjective, empty of objective reality, then my misery, stress, anxiety, anguish, and so forth, all these tears are also like dream. Yes, they're also subjective reality. Yes. So they're also empty of the true reality. Yes. Wow. So in that experience, the realization that nothing is objective, particularly the fears, the tears, the anxiety, stress, anguish, and so forth, they're all like dreams. There's a freedom. You wake up and you have this loss of freedom is all gone. You have gained the total freedom. That is transcendence, where you transcend the sorrow. You transcend sorrow, and the opposite of which is the peace, absolute peace, where no external factors can affect you anymore. That is what I experience now. This is known as the transcending sorrow is absolute peace. Okay, stay in this experience for a while. And just generate this wish, aspiration. May I be able to sustain this experience where all my sorrows are dissolved into this experience of emptiness, where the peace simply dawns, very reliable peace dawns, eternal peace dawns in me. So that aspiration is the understanding of renunciation. This is renunciation, aspiration to stay in this experience of emptiness where all the misery is dissolved in the expanse of emptiness. Okay, slowly come out of the practice. Let's take a few seconds break before we move to the Bodhisattva. Okay, ready? Okay. For the bodhicitta, there are two methods. A sevenfold cause effect method and the method of equalizing and exchange yourself for others. These two methods. And if we don't engage in these two methods, simply by doing what we are doing today here, the four immeasurables, we are not going to do all the four immeasurables, we'll just do the first two. Simply by doing these things, and then every day you begin your practice with the refugee bodhicitta verse, that alone will never give rise to bodhicitta. Don't forget it. For the bodhicitta actual experience can happen only with these two methods. If you don't engage in these two methods, no matter how much deep meditation you on tantra, emptiness, breathing, sensation, bodhicitta will never arise. Bodhicitta requires a very separate meditation. So, on the two methods, I'm just indicating to tell you that these two methods are there. You have to learn these two methods, and they are very precious books available there, and you have to actually practice this. And then you can expect that, okay, now my heart is actually expanding. You will feel that. Otherwise, just by reciting the verses, bodhicitta verses, the few times every day, this will not really increase your bodhicitta. It will never happen. Okay. So what we do is that, so in group, this is a little difficult, because for the true Buddhist practice, you really need to do in total relaxation, in the total freedom of your mind, that there should be no constraint. Okay, time management, and the other people waiting for me, these things the experience will not come to you. Okay, with this, so in group what we do is just for four immeasurables, and then conclude by the Bodhicitta verse. So with this in mind, ready? Reinforce the visualization of all the Buddhas, because the bodhicitta is something which requires great support, great rule. The number of the role models are required, without which, since we don't really have this experience, so we require great support. And Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and Lama Tsongkhapa here, and Guru Patna Sambhava, and the Sachin Goyingpo, Sakya Pandita, Jesu Marpa, Jesu Mila, and their own masters, Jesu Narupa, Jesu Tirupa, and the Lama Tsongkhapa, and then before that, Lama Adisha Debangari Shrikana and his own teacher, Lama Selingpa from Indonesia, and then Lama Tsongkhapa, all these enlightened beings and the great masters of the Chinese tradition, the Mahayana traditions in the different countries, all these great masters. And around you, your two parents, all the family members, including children, and all their mothers and shimiks with you, living on the side. And what we practice here, and for many of us, what we practice, it may not really resonate with your real thinking. You may think that what I'm doing is just so superficial. This is the meaning of the practice. Just imagine that you are practicing the music, practicing the keyboard music. You press the keyboard, the keys, mimic the teachers. Still there's no music, it's just a noise. It's not a music. Though you're mimicking, it becomes so superficial, worse than superficiality. There's no music, it's just voice, it's just noise. But keep practicing it, and gradually it becomes a beautiful music. So this is the meaning of the practice. Even though you may feel that what I'm doing doesn't really resonate with my mind, thinking, it's so superficial. We start from what is superficial and then keep doing it, it'll gradually become real. Okay. We do the first two immeasurables. Immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. Cause of suffering primarily consists of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. May all my dear sentient beings be freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. I will take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you are making such a courageous commitment, like the mother after all these many years of raising children, today, the eldest daughter just aged 12, and the eldest son aged 11, two of them come to the mother, telling the mother, "Mother, please take rest, you have done everything for us, you love us so much, we love you so much. Now we are grown up, we'll take care of our siblings." The Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, this is exactly what they feel today. To see that you are making such a courageous commitment, they're so happy and proud. Way the manner in which the mother could not contain her tears to see that the unbelievable event happening today. This is exactly what has happened to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. And because of this joy and pride all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas feel, invoke the compassionate minds to send forth nectars, very soothing lights towards you and ultimate sentient beings. The mere touch of the blessed nectars with the bodies beings yours washes away all the miseries and the causes of miseries from you and ultimate sentient beings. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to us all ultimate sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Next, immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The causes of happiness primarily consisting of the unconditional love of Bodhisattva and the fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness. May all my dear sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I will take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and causes happiness. The Buddha's Bodhisattvas witnessing the dreaming is such a gracious commitment. The intense habit proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassionate minds to send forth nectar is pursuing light towards you and all the sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the bodies beings yours instills in all happiness and causes happiness in the minds of sentient beings yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening towards all of the sentient beings. You're intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sound the relief. Underscoring all the 4 immeasurables and the 2 which we did now, underscoring these immeasurables is the unconditional love towards all the beings. Imagine that you are looking at the eyes of each of the sentient beings with incredible love and affection, to the extent that each of the beings feels themselves as so special in your eyes. With folded hands, let us make a Bodhisattva commitment together. I'll say this, and then you let us all repeat it 3 times together, and try to even be it superficial, it doesn't matter. Just try to say it wholeheartedly to the best you can. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. This is the most beautiful mind that possibly exists, most beautiful mind that possibly exists in the whole universe. And today you have generated this mind. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of bodhicitta into a spotlessly clean moon disk, horizontally sitting on your heart. Okay, that's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of all demons and beings. That's amazing. But keep in mind that no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. Yes, that's true, I agree. But I'm not like a handful of sand. Instead, I'm like a handful of sunflower seeds, squeezing which oil does come out. I have the Buddha nature with me. Every sentient being, all my demon sentient beings have the Buddha nature. I also have the Buddha nature. But if this were the case, why not? That it is manifested since time immemorial till now. Why it is not manifested till now? Yes, that's true. It is all because that since time immemorial till now, I thought that these 2 self-grasping ignorance, these self-centered, these 2 are the best of my friends. And today I'm disillusioned by that. I see them as my demons. I'm going to do everything to exterminate them. Extermination of these 2, let manifest this Buddha nature within me to be of the ultimate source of benefit for all my demons and beings. Okay, that's good. But how can you do that? Yes, I'm going to resort to a very powerful remedy. What is that remedy to overcome these mental defilements? The wisdom of emptiness, non-dual wisdom of the Arya Bodhisattvas. Okay, what is that wisdom like? Okay, just for today, because that we are yet to introduce to emptiness, just for today, just imagine that everything is like dream. Just think of yourself. And think of somebody who you love so much, you like your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, husband, wife, children. You see, that just imagine they are like my dreams. Meaning that how they appear as so real is empty. You remember that these are like dreams. Seeing the dream-like person as purely subjective, which happens only when you wake up. And your loss of the emotional control disappears. Wow, that's amazing. How how I wish that I see everything like dream. Just imagine now you are seeing everything like a dream. Say the manner in which you they looked at somebody of the opposite gender, like your dad, mom, brother, sister, husband, wife, children. And gender is a quality of the body, and the body is nothing but made of the cells, organs, and organs are made of cells. Cells are made of DNA molecules, and these molecules are made of atoms, and atoms are made of electrons, protons, neutrons. Just go on that level. You've gone too close to the object. You've gone too close to the object. Earlier you saw that person's object real. If this person would exist objectively, you should be able to see that as you go close to this object. Or you go close to this object on that level of atoms. Where is this person as a male or as a female? Where is this? It simply dissolves. The moment you discover that it is that experience of the maleness, femaleness dissolves, there's a tinge of fear, uneasiness come to you. If it does happen, you are very fortunate. You are in a proper track. If it doesn't happen, don't worry. Study more, practice more, contemplate more, and meditate more. And eventually you will get this experience, very profound experience, unraveling the reality that nothing exists objectively. Wow, this is amazing. If this is what happens, you see that all your miseries, they are also like empty of objective. On the objective level, you see that they all dissolve. Your mind will, the dissolution of these miseries, your mind will be uplifted with joy and expansiveness of ease. Slowly transform this totally fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness into a spotless, clean, thumb-size white Vajra, vertically sitting on the Mundasgora heart. This is known as the blaze of the non-dual Bodhicittas, the title of which we chose as a title for the book which we're using. The blaze of non-dual Bodhicittas. The two Bodhicittas, moon, symbolic of the conventional bodhicitta, the desire to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, and Vajra, symbolic of the ultimate bodhicitta, non-dual wisdom of the Arya Bodhisattvas, which guarantees that all the mental defilements are going to be eradicated. Wow, I'm so fortunate. I'm so fortunate. Don't forget that your parents, your children, all the family members, all the sentient beings are suffering so much. He has generated very strong compassion. This compassion that you've generated invokes the Vajramuni into your heart to multiply infinite number of times. Share one side of the Vajramuni at the heart of your mother, one side of the Vajramuni at the heart of your father, one side of the Vajramuni at the heart of each one of your family members, including children, and each of the sentient beings here in Tushita Center, in Dharamsala, in India, in the world, and each of the sentient beings in at the hearts of the trillions and trillions of being creatures in the oceans, and the trillions of creatures in the wilderness, and at the heart of all the sentient beings on the planet Earth, in the Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe. Amazing. Let's not forget that all Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they are watching us. And why not we invite all Buddhist Bodhisattvas to be the witness and also our guests for our taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow today. So with this in mind, today we'll do the short form. From tomorrow we will do the complete. Okay, so let's turn to page 50. Yes, since the meanings already explained, wholeheartedly visualize all Bodhisattvas. You have invited them as your witness and the guests to your undertaking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. And you visualize your parents, your children, all of family members, all the sentient beings, the way, when, and for whom or to whom you have shared the Vajramon. Visualize all of them with you, and you inspire them by taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, and everybody's inspired. They join you, like you being the eldest child, and all your siblings, they join you just with so much of confidence in your leadership, and you are leading them, and they're joining you. And all the Bodhisattvas, like your parents, they're so proud of what you're doing today. They're watching you as requested. They're so attentively, and they're watching what you're doing. So with this mind, let us take the aspiration Bodhisattva vow 3 times together. Reading the first 3 verses together 3 times, followed by the next 2 verses 3 times. Meanwhile, just reflect on meanings as much as you can. Invoke the experience to the best you can. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess and I rejoice the virtues all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to resolute and accomplish the aims of others myself. Having generated the mind of Bodhi, Supreme Enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guests and shall engage in the development and excellent practice of full enlightenment. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to resolute and accomplish the aims of others myself. Having generated the mind of Supreme Enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings to be my guests and shall engage in the development and excellent practice of full enlightenment. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to resolute and accomplish the aims of others myself. Having generated the mind of Supreme Enlightenment, and shall engage in the development and excellent practices of full enlightenment, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train in the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train in the Bodhisattva practices. I feel the joy over having received that Bodhisattva vow, and just imagine all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they're so proud for you, so happy over what you did today. And that since time immemorial, what the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they have been expecting from us is that we engage in virtues and then thereby experience the maximum happiness. We shun the non-virtues so that we can stop the tears of samsara. On the contrary, we've been embracing the non-virtues and shunning the virtues. Thereby we continue to suffer. But today what you did is something so special. All the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they feel so happy like their parents. They feel so proud of the child for the first time doing something so noble and to make the whole community proud. And this is what exactly happening today. So with this mind, just imagine the all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, the pride and happiness they feel today. They make the Vajramon in the full-fledged form at their heart to multiply infinite number of times. And all these innumerable, infinite numbers, the number of the Vajramon from the hearts of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they descend like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that we visualize your heart, thereby become a non-dual. stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, all the replicas of the Vajra moon from the Buddha's Bodhisattva, they descend to merge with the one that visualize the heart of your mother, at the heart of your father, at the heart of each one of them members, including children, and each of the beings here in the planet Earth, Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe. Thereby, the Vajra moon that you have shared with them, they become non-dual with what descended, stabilized, and blessed. And this is the greatest of the gift that you can make to all Bodhisattvas. Today you have gifted with this gift. And of all the offerings to Buddhist Bodhisattvas, there's nothing greater than this. And today you have made this offering to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. And with your life, there's nothing more meaningful than generating bodhicitta. And today you have generated this. You have extracted the meaning. You have given the meaning to life. Amazing. And all these wonders happening because of the blessings of Buddhist Bodhisattvas. And to make sure that we are never separate from this practice in the future lifetimes, we'll include them in the form of very powerful prayer, page 51. Let's say this wholeheartedly 3 times together. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the course of my life. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened the mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise it in the following manner. Today my life is born, having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now one of Buddha's children. Thus whatever actions I do from now on, disgrace is polluted in this. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel over a heap of rubbish, likewise, by some coincidence, awaken the mind of is supreme ambrosia that overcomes sovereign death, is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world, is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease, is a tree that shelters all beings wandering entire on the path of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth, is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions, is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world, is the sweet quintessential butter from the churn of the milk of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the bounties of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May God's endemics all be joyful. Okay, just for information, a very sad news that the Professor Jeffrey Hopkins, a great icon, the serviceman to the humanity, to the Buddha Dharma, to the sentient beings, he passed away yesterday, and since my childhood, meaning that since I was late as a teenager, I heard about his contributions to the Buddha Dhamma. It's amazing. And particularly the one that I remember that when in my 30s, when I was teaching the emerita students here in Dharamsala, after the completion of the one semester, then the students were expected to write a dissertation. And everybody, they can choose whatever they like to write on. And then one girl, she wanted to write some kind of commentary on Nagarjuna's text, Precious Garland. And she had to look for a translation, and she found Professor Jeffrey's translation. And of course, the Tibetan version, the English version, sometimes they may not be too compatible. And I told the girl that even if there are some incompatibilities there, But we should be extremely grateful to these masters like Professor Jeffrey, Robert Thurman, and so forth, for the reason that these are the people who actually brought the Buddha Dharma and make them easily accessible to the Western world by translating, making them available in the English language. Tibetan masters are there, but then the Tibetan masters, the command of the English is not to empower with the native English speakers. So they really contribute. They learned the Dharma in the Tibetan communities. Then they took them to the West and then made them accessible. And these people who were actually trained by the Tibetan masters, this sense of gratitude to the Buddha Dharma, to the Tibetan masters, this sense of gratitude is very different. And you can feel that they have the real spirit of the Dharma. And Professor Jeffrey Hopkins is one of them, and his contribution is amazing. And in fact, Nanda the Master's course, batch 1, we used two materials. They are his translations. We use them because that we don't have any materials in English, particularly the more sophisticated the topics and the texts, the materials are so less. So therefore, he made these contributions. It's amazing. So let us pray that whole his life is dedicated. In fact, I learned that just before a few days he passed away, he was still teaching. He knew that he was going to pass away. He was going to leave in a few days, leave the world. Still he was teaching. And this is the spirit of the Dhamma practice. Amazing compassion and brilliant contributions. Let us pray that Professor Jeffrey and all so of course there are so many Tibetan masters, Chinese masters, Theravada masters, and also these great teachers in the West. Let us pray that those who pass away, let's pray that they come back as soon as possible. They reincarnate as soon as possible, and we continuously be of service to the humanity, for the Dharma and for the sentient beings, and for the people who are in the journey, and particularly who are dependent on English language. Let's pray for them. And alongside, so we have been every day reciting the Medicine Buddha mantra for His Holiness's the healing of His Holiness's knees, and Professor Jeffrey's quick reincarnation to be of great service to the Buddha Dharma and the beings. Okay, let's recite. Om Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samangade Swaha. Om Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samangade Swaha. Om Begaze Maha Begaze Ranza Samangade Swaha. Om Begaze Maha Begaze Raza 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 Samangade Om Begaze Maha Begaze Raza Samangade Swaha. 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 Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha. 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 Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha, Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha, Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha, Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha. Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha, Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha, Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha, Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha. Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha, 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 Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha. Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha, 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 Om Dare Du Dare Dure Soha. Dedication prayer, page 52. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization that is in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas for 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine, scripture, and insight. May under all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect way in the 2 stages. From our 2 collections, vast the space that we have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may have become the chief Veda Buddha for all those whose minds is blinded by ignorance. Deata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswaha. Okay, in the mornings, we'll skip reading the text. We'll straight away do the food offering. Okay, who does that? Food offering? Food offering. Group C. Because we don't have much time, only just 1 hour gap, and then the people have to line in queue. Yes.
The page 300.
Page?
300.
Yes.
It's not working. Hello?
Try again.
Page 300.
Good.
Okay, page 300, food offering prayers. We offer this food to the Buddha, the teacher of unconditional love, on the basis of understanding the interdependence of oneself and others. We offer this food to the Dharma, the perfect teachings of the Buddha. We offer this food to the Sangha, the perfect practitioners of this teaching. By the power of offering this food to the 3 jewels, may all sentient beings be freed of suffering, of hunger, thirst, fear, and so forth, and eventually be led to full awakening, which is the highest state of happiness. Sangye yonten samikya, choki yonten samikya, pape gendun samikya, samikya blade jepe, nampar mepa samikya, nangdam shinla chopa pul. The qualities of the Buddha are inconceivable, the qualities of the Dharma are inconceivable, the qualities of the Arya Sangha are inconceivable. By the power of venerating the inconceivables, the results accrued as well are inconceivable. I offer this food to the inconceivable fields of perfection. Tompalame Sangye Rinpoche, Kyopalame Tamcho Rinpoche, Tempalame Gedun Rinpoche, Kyapne Konchok Somla Chopa Pul. The precious Dharma is the sublime teacher, the precious Dharma is the sublime protection, the precious Sangha is the sublime assistant. We offer this food to the 3 jewels, the sources of refuge. I go for refuge in the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart.
Om Muni Muni Maha Muniye Swaha. 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 Om Muni Muni Maha Muniye Swaha.